Alright guys, welcome back. In this video, it's more of a playtime. I'm just going to go over how to get uh, your Plex Media Server up in Azure, or install a Plex Media Server in Azure. And I'm going to be using the Plex Media Server installation and basic setup from their website. So let's get started. So the first step here is preparation, just to name your files. I already had a Plex Media Server, and so my files that is already been done. My files are already in the format that it needs to be. So I'm going to go ahead and jump up down to the installation. I'll open up the download in another tab, and I'll hit on download. Now it gives me option. For this demo, I'm going to use a Linux server. I'm using a Linux server because since it's going to be on Azure, it's lightweight. I can put the resource down to like an A1 or A0 and still get good um, performance. Select Linux, and I hit on download, and it'll give me the distributions, the options. I'm going to use, for this one demo, I'll use Ubuntu. So I'll go to the Ubuntu here, and I'll right click on the 64-bit, and I'll copy shortcut. Well, I'll do that, and I'll paste that into a notepad for now. So now that I know what distribution on Linux I want to use, now I'm gonna go ahead and sorry, I know what's available in Plex. Now I'm gonna go ahead and deploy that Ubuntu in Azure. So I'll go here, and I wanted to do all this pre-step before the video, but then I said, you know what, let me just go through it, even though it might make the video longer. Uh, so I'll do Plex. And for the region, I'm going to choose East Asia, and I'll show you why in a few minutes. And once that's created, I'll go in there. And as usual, I'll go ahead and create my storage, then my virtual network in that resource group. Okay, that name has already been taken, so let's say Plex. Alright, and I'll get local here, leave it standard. And encryption, you can read about this. This means that when the data is actually in the storage account, it's encrypted. So this is different from having an encrypted VHD, but this also helps with security. So I'm going to enable that on the main storage account. Go create. And while that's deploying, I can go ahead and also deploy my virtual network. Okay, and I'll come back here and I'll confirm those two have been deployed. So once I have those two deployed, now it's time for me to deploy my server. I'll take the latest version of Ubuntu here. This is just the basic information. I know you guys have done this multiple times. I'll choose a regular hard drive. And let's use password. I'll use an A1. That should do the trick for this demo. Alright, so this blade is where we're gonna do a little bit of different things here. So storage, we're gonna select the storage we created. And the network should also be there. Now for the NSG, since we actually deploying a Plex server, we need to have port we need to have port 32400 open. That's the Plex port. You can change that. If you can change it within your Plex server, it's all up to you. But I'm just going to stick with the default Plex information. We don't want any extension at this time. Availability, I'm just going to go ahead and select an availability set for this one. And I would go over that why I did this in a later video. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and enable diagnostics because I like to see what's going on the VM without actually getting into it. And I want to put this diagnostics on the same Plex storage account. Say OK. It's validating. And I deploy. Alright, I'll just sit back and wait till the deployment complete. Be right back. Okay, so the deployment just completed. And the server's coming up. So what I'm going to do now is actually log into the server, and for this demo or the tool that I use to get access Linux box is actually Putty. Oops. So I'm going to go ahead and copy out the IP from here. I'm going to also paste that in my notepad here. Now I'm going to jump into the installation here because we're going to do a little bit outside. So right now what we were doing is basically just deploying the machine. That is not stated in here because this is for any deployment. So the little 8 minutes is just for us in Azure. We're going to skip down to the bottom. I'm going to show you what I'm going to be doing next. I'm going to be doing this section. So I'm on the Windows machine right now, and I'm trying to this section says opening Plex web application on a device other than the server itself. And I'm looking at the Windows section since we're on a Windows machine. This is what I'm going to configure my Plex. I'm going to configure a tunnel within my Plex application for my connection. So, sorry, within Party. I'm sorry, a tunnel within Party. So I'll bring here, and I have my IP address here. I'll take this out, and I'll put that up there. And oops, what, I like to make everything. So I'll copy this one also out here. Oops, I need to be here, here, here. I'll give it a name. Now, after I give it a name, I would come back into SSH here. And I'll go to tunnel. And I'll say port 8888. Oops. And I'll say destination is local. .32400. And I'll add that one in here for forwarding ports. Let's make sure everything is fine, perfect. And I'll jump back into my session here, and I'll save this session. Then after I save it, I will just reload it again just for kicks, and then I'll open. Now I can log into my VM. Okay. Alright, so once into my VM, now I can continue with this step. I can jump back in here and continue with the installation. Continue with the installation section here. So, but this is a little bit different because this says us run this, but we don't have the package yet on the machine. So I'm going to actually go ahead and get the package. And to do that, what I'm going to do first is create a location where I'm going to put it. So I'm going to be sudo make dir downloads. I'm going to go cd then now I'm in the downloads. I'm going to say, okay, I'm in this package. Go ahead and get this package. So it's going to be sudo wget. Okay, now I have the package under my my download folder within the server. What I'm going to do now is install it. Now the command is going to be, it's the same command, but I'm going to change the package because as you see, the packages are different. It doesn't have the latest package, and it does tell you to replace it with the package you downloaded. So I'm going to replace it with this one here. And once I have that, I should start my installation. Perfect. So now the installation is complete. Now, since I'm on a VM, I'm not actually on the browser. This machine, the Windows machine, is not actually local. So what we're going to have to do next, what is this? So yeah, it's this one side here. We're going to scroll down. We're going to use this URL here, and because we've created a tunnel when we did the SSH, this is why this URL is going to work. If you don't have a tunnel, it will not work. So let me just put this here in a notepad. I don't want to copy extra spaces. Then I'm going to open up a browser in my so this will take me into my Plex server that I just installed on my Azure machine, and I'll go ahead and log in. Because I already have an account. If you don't have an account, you can sign up. Alright, it tells me how Plex works. I say got it. Right now I don't want to sign up for anything, so I'll go ahead and just cancel out of this. And I'll give it a name. Let's see what Azure Plex demo. Spain. Might just give us an error, but still works. Yeah, if I say yes again, it goes. Okay. I'm going to skip add a library for now, then I'm going to go next. I'm done. And your Plex server in Azure is up and running. So now, once we have the server up and running, what we're going to do now is configure our media. Okay. So you can still from the beginning, I told you I had this media here. So what I'm going to do right now is just minimize here, and I'm going to jump into my Azure Portal. Then I'm going to go into storage. Okay, on the storage, what I'm gonna do, you can do it either way you want. You can create an extra VHD and attach it to the VM. But what I like to do is actually do a file service, and I'll show you right here. This is an Azure file service here. And the reason why I did everything in East Asia is because I wanted to make use of the encryption, which is currently in preview and is only in East Asia. So basically, it encrypts all the data at rest. So technically, your data should be safe in there as long as in your file service. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go into File, and I'll create a new one. And I'll call it Plex Share Media. And I'll make it 1 terabyte. Okay, then I'll go into the Plex shared media, hit connect here, which will give me the connection variables here. I'm going to copy this one here because that's what I'm going to use to set up the server. Okay, now once I have that in there, there are two things I'm going to do now. First, I'm going to try to start copying the media over to this file share. So I'll come here. To do that, I'm going to use Azure Storage Explorer. And I'm going to connect to that storage account using storage name and key, which I have here in this file I copied off. Once I have that in there, I go next, and I hit on connect. All right, that should connect me here. I can go into the file share. This is the file share I want. And what I'm going to do from my Windows machine now, I'm going to tell it to upload folders. I'm going to browse to my media folder, which is here in my Z. I say upload all the movies folder. And I hit on upload. While that's doing its thing, we can come back here into Plex Ubuntu server. Okay. That's what we're gonna do. Let's go cd. We're gonna create some directories so we can actually mount that a file share there. So let's go. So let's do sudo make directory in the roots called Plex. Let's see if it'll allow me. I never tried this. And let's say Plex share media. Aha. So it wants to do one at a time. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Sudo Plex. Forget the command. Make dir. So it doesn't want to create that. So let's do the one at a time. So let's create this one. And create that one. So once I have that now, let's see. Oh, I shouldn't have created it, but that's fine. So I go back into my file here. And what I'm going to do is here where it says mount point on the file I copied. I'm going to tell it to mount to Plex share media. Just to make sure it's there, I'm going to do this. I'm going to say change directory to that. See, I'm missing something. It looks like I have an A in there. Perfect. Okay, now once I have that all squared away, I can select this here and tell it to actually this is Ubuntu, so I need to change the to this to 2.1 because there's something wrong with 3.0. So I can now mount the file, and if I do an ls, let me see how far my copy is going. Let's go back one step up and let's do ls. Let's do it from here. Let's see. Plex. Aha, here we go. So it shows us the movies. And if I go ls movies, perfect. I see my 3 movies in there. So now I have my 3 movies already mounted on this share. And I'll jump back into my browser if it'll come up. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and add a library, say movies, go next. I'll browse into my Plex share here, say movies, and add the whole movie folder. Say add to library. And that should add my files. Let's give it a few minutes to go through. It's generating. So now while this is going on, because it's going to take a few minutes to get all the metadata. What we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and because we did this file share here, what happens is when the machine reboots again, this will drop off. So we want to make sure that this doesn't happen. It gets reattached at boot up. So we're going to go ahead and add this into the FS tab. But we need to make a few minor adjustments. Let's take out this here. Let's put that in here. And what I want to do also is really I don't want this to have all that rights. I just want it to be able to read. I could upload my server. I could upload my files up to the server, up to the storage account or the file share on the back end. I don't really want the server to have anything to write into this. Or I could give, let's give owner, just in case you want to transcode or you want to optimize it. You might want to write into that folder where the movie is. So let's give owner that. After that, everything else is this. So I'll copy this out. Then I'll do sudo vi fs tab. Come on. FS. Good. Now inside my FS tab, let's go and I'll add a new line. Oops, I keep forgetting this is not Windows. I'll add a new line there. So to mount my stuff at boot up, then I'll say write and quit. Then let's see how far our stuff are going. I'm just gonna go outside of one of these here. Let's use this one. I'm gonna sign in. Oops. And I would launch. So I have my three movies. So this is public facing. This is not the local host. This is public facing, and I could start. Let's start Despicable Me. See what it get. And it's doing okay. It's a little bit choppy. I guess it's because the metadata are working in the background, but it works. Now to confirm that it works, because this is not the end of it. Let's close out the local host one. We're done with that. What I'm gonna do is jump in here and jump into my VM. We want to make sure that the file share attaches at after reboot. So I'm just gonna go ahead and restart the VM. Okay, that's it getting disconnected from my terminal here. That's it losing connection because it's going down. It's all good. Normally it takes about a minute or two to come back up. Still not yet up. Let's start again. Okay. All right, it's back up. So let's jump back to our external Plex. Yeah, normally after the machine comes up, it takes a while for the Plex service to start. So let's give it a few minutes. Oh, looks like it's up. All right, it's up. Let's continue watching our movie. All right, so everything is up and running. The file share attached. That's how you set up a server in Azure, or I set up a server, a Plex Media Server in Azure. Thank you for watching. I know it's been a long 35 minutes, but it's actually worth it to get your server up in the cloud. Have a good day.